Hey there, thanks for clicking this video. My name is Anthony Romano, and I'm going to tell you today about teen bodybuilding with ketogenic diets. So, if you're ever curious about if you can do the keto diet, if you're a teenager, if it's okay, if it's healthy, in this video I'm going to tell you about how it is perfectly healthy to do a keto diet as a teen bodybuilder. So, I've been doing the ketogenic diet for the past 7 years, and I've been bodybuilding all throughout that time. So, I will tell you that it is perfectly fine to do a ketogenic diet if you're a teenager. So, one premise I will put in here is that if you are a woman, a girl, right, a teenage young woman, you can totally do a keto diet too. Just keep your fats higher, because for women, the fats are even more important. But in general, here's a good frequently asked question that I get is that, will keto stunt your growth, or will keto affect your hormones, right? No, keto will actually improve your hormones, right? Because fats and cholesterol are the building blocks of hormones. And the reason why I was saying for women to get better fat sources, or err on the side of higher fats rather than lower fats, it's more necessary for women, is because women's hormones are a little more sensitive than men's. That's the only premise that I'm going to throw in here. But besides that being the only qualifier, here's the deal with keto bodybuilding, okay? I've been doing keto since 16. I've been doing it for bulks, for cuts, for maintenance, to stay shredded, to get more shredded, to get bigger and still stay shredded. I've been doing it for all different kinds of purposes. And what I will tell you is that I'll actually have a picture like right here of my progress of my very first year of a bulk and cut with some keto bulk, mostly carb bulk, and a full keto cut right there. Okay, that's with 1 year from 16 to 17. And I know that keto helped me in a lot of ways, because a lot of the habits you have in your teenage years are going to stick with you. And I'm only 22 years old. I'd like to think that I've been eating very healthy for the past 7 years since I've started keto, but I know that my body's cravings for sugar and my body's reliance upon sugar is greatly reduced due to the fact that I started doing this diet young. So I absolutely encourage any young bodybuilders, or even any young person who's trying to just get on top of their health, consider this diet, look into it. It's going to set you up so you're not addicted to carbs throughout your life. It's going to set you up so you're not always trying to feed an itch for processed sugar. Okay? It's going to make your body better at burning fat. And there's studies on a lot of other things, on your cells, mitochondria. There's studies on your gut bacteria. The people who eat lower carb, higher fat diets tend to have better gut bacteria, healthier cells, healthier mitochondria, healthier brains, and better abilities to burn fat than the people who tend to eat very high carby diets. Now, there's nothing wrong with carbs inherently. It's more so the carb sources that we have nowadays on our hands, the highly processed sources, right? More dense in sugar sources. But that's a topic for another video. The point I'm just trying to make here is that you don't need to be afraid of keto if you're a teenage bodybuilder or a teenage person. In general, doing keto is going to help your body's hormone production, allow your body to get vital nutrients, because a lot of the fattier foods that you're eating on this diet are more dense in nutrients. These are typically vitamin A, E, D, and K. These are called the fat-soluble vitamins. They need fat to be absorbed. And if you're doing a bulk or some sort of bodybuilding plan where you're eating high carbs, high protein, because that's how they mostly go, right? That's how most of the popular ones go. You're typically not going to be getting enough fats to build hormones. And when people ask, oh, is my growth going to be stunted from keto or something ridiculous like that, if anything, your growth and your hormone production will be better. It'll be more balanced, more healthy. And, another thing too is every cell in your body is made of cholesterol, and all your hormones require it. If you're eating healthy source of cholesterol, healthy grass-fed animals, pasture-raised animals, not eating crappy fat sources like processed vegetable oils and stuff, at the end of the day, you are going to have a healthier body. You are going to reduce your body's dependence on sugar. And this is also through your insulin sensitivity. So insulin's a hormone in your body that stores fat, but it is also the hormone that delivers nutrients into your body. It's just that if you are overweight, your sensitivity to insulin will be lower, and you don't want that. You want your sensitivity to be higher. Doing low carb and keto diets raises your insulin sensitivity. This is very good. And what this basically means is that your body is more efficient at delivering nutrients inside itself. So it's less likely to store fat, and it's more likely to deliver nutrients properly. So if you are increasing your insulin sensitivity by doing a low carb diet, and whether you're bulking, whether you're cutting, whether you're eating a maintenance calorie, at the end of the day, this is going to be a way better choice for you down the line, because it's going to be easier to build muscle, and it's going to be easier to build lean muscle, and it's going to be easier to burn fat because your insulin sensitivity is going to be better. Another thing I want to talk on is expanding on the fact that this is going to set you up down the line. I'm only 22 years old. I haven't lived my whole life, but I know that my reliance on sugar is way weaker than a lot of people I know. I rarely eat processed junk food, and I always thought that people who, when I was, a teenager, people who were older than me that ate very clean or didn't eat junk food, I thought they had like the craziest willpower. It's not the craziest willpower. It's literally just the physical adaptation. You might think that I'm one of those people by telling you that, I don't eat junk food that often, and I don't even really eat carbs that often. In general, you might think I'm a crazy mental side of things, right? It's not that. It's the physical adaptation. This is going to create, people think it'll create a willpower. In one way it will, but it'll remove the need to even use willpower. What this is going to do is it's going to set your body up so that it is way more efficient at burning fat, and that is going to go miles down your life, whether it's for bodybuilding goals, whether it's for just overall health. Hormone wise, you're going to be better off. You're not going to have acne breakouts. I know for me, with any bulk I did in my life during my teenage years where I used carbs, I was always blowing up with fat. You kind of get like this marshmallow look to you if you do a carb-based bulk that's a little too dirty, right? And everyone does those in their teenage years, so, I guess it's all right. But you have the wisdom of my experience that you shouldn't do that, because you're going to blow up with acne. You're going to add more fat than you want to. And it's funny because I know a lot of people who got into bodybuilding at young ages, and they did those approaches, and nowadays they're just the, heftier gym bro, like there's not, it's almost like those choices sent them, a little bit down less healthy of a route, is what I'm saying. I'm talking about the impact of your diet choices in your teenage years. If you're setting your body up so that it's going to crave sugar in your teenage years, especially if you're doing a bulk, if you're doing a high carb, high protein approach, what's going to happen is you're going to set your body up so that it's going to always want that throughout your life, whether you think you're being healthier by lifting weights or not. So for the young people, this is who I want to watch this video and gain something valuable. You can gain something too if you're older than teenage. I mean, the principles still stand. But the point I'm trying to make is you have the ability to influence your body's reliances and what it wants and what it's used to. And you could take the typical bodybuilder approach that everyone's doing on YouTube. They're copying the people who are just eating 1 billion grams of protein a day and 1 billion grams of carbs every day, and they're not getting enough fats for their hormones. They're not increasing their insulin sensitivity. They're not enjoying their diets. They're not getting enough nutrition from their diets. But if you are a teenage bodybuilder and you are curious about the ketogenic diet, it is only able to benefit you. And I personally think that if you learn how to do it properly, because you can't get by with a lot of cheat things on keto. You got to stick to keto. You can't have fruits. You can't have small amounts of rice. You have to do it properly, because this is what often ruins the diet for a lot of people, especially if they're teenagers and they just want to hop into it and they don't, plan it out as much, right? Because there's more fire in the teenage years, There's not as much planning, at least in general, for most people, right? So what I'm telling you is, if you're a teenage person and you want to get into this, learn how to do it right, and it could really benefit you down the line. That's really what I want to emphasize in this video. I hope I've given you some insights into some of the mechanisms in your body that will actually benefit from trying a ketogenic diet, whether it's for bulking, cutting, maintaining purposes. But overall, feel free to ask me a comment, leave me a question, whatever you want to do. I will answer you. I answer every single person. So I'd love to help you out in any way I can. Follow my Instagram as well, and click the little notification bell. Thank you for watching. My name is Anthony Romano. Peace.